Good evening and welcome to Pakistan Today News from our New York studio. I'm Chris Taylor. We begin tonight with breaking developments from Iran, where mass protests have erupted across major cities. Thousands of demonstrators have taken to the streets to denounce the country's leadership amid deepening political and economic unrest. The protests have continued despite a nationwide internet blackout imposed by authorities, a move that has raised alarm among activists and human rights groups. Amnesty International reports an intensified use of force by security agencies, with many protesters killed or injured during clashes. Critics warn the communications shutdown may be intended to conceal escalating violence, while opposition figures are calling for broader action against the regime. Iran's leadership, meanwhile, has blamed foreign forces for instigating the unrest and says it will act to preserve national order. Turning to Pakistan, former Senator Mushtaq Ahmad Khan has officially launched a new political party, the Pakistan Rights Movement, in Islamabad. Addressing party leaders, workers, and civil society representatives, he pledged to strengthen constitutional rule, social justice, and civil rights across the country. Mushtaq Ahmad emphasized strict adherence to the 1973 Constitution and vowed to eradicate inequality, poverty, and corruption. He criticized the existing political system as deeply flawed and promised equal access to justice, education, and healthcare, along with the protection of freedom of expression. He also called for an end to extrajudicial killings and urged greater trust among Pakistan's federating units. Let's bring in our correspondent for more on this story. Sarah William joins us from Islamabad. Sarah, what are you seeing on the ground?
Chris, the launch of the Pakistan Rights Movement here in Islamabad has drawn significant attention from political observers and civil society groups. Supporters say Mushtaq Ahmad's focus on constitutionalism and civil liberties resonates with voters frustrated by entrenched political practices. Analysts note that his strong language on judicial independence and human rights is aimed at mobilizing urban and youth voters. However, critics argue the party faces an uphill battle in translating ideals into nationwide political support. The coming weeks will be key in determining whether this movement can gain real momentum.
Thank you, Sarah, for that update. In another major development, the government of Pakistan has appointed Dr. Kabir Ahmed Sidhu as the new chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan. The Finance Division confirmed the appointment through an official notification, effective immediately. Dr. Sidhu previously served as chairman of the Competition Commission of Pakistan, where he led wide-ranging institutional reforms and crackdowns on market abuse. With more than 2 decades of experience in law and financial regulation and academic credentials, including a PhD from the University of Manchester, officials say his leadership is expected to strengthen oversight of Pakistan's financial markets. Meanwhile, the Privatization Commission Board in Islamabad has taken key decisions affecting several state-owned assets. The board has halted the negotiated sale of a 51% stake in House Building Finance Company Limited after receiving only one low bid, recommending the process be restarted with a new financial advisor. It has also canceled the current process for hiring a financial advisor for the Roosevelt Hotel in New York, directing officials to invite fresh expressions of interest to ensure wider competition. In addition, the board has recommended including New Islamabad International Airport in the privatization program and approved steps toward the privatization of power distribution companies HESCO and SEPCO. Officials stress that transparency and competition remain central to maximizing returns for the national exchequer. Political tensions are also rising after Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Chief Minister Sohail Afridi launched a sharp attack on Pakistan People's Party leadership during a visit to Sindh. Afridi accused President Asif Ali Zardari of undermining the legacy of Zulfikar Ali Bhutto and Benazir Bhutto by altering the constitution through the 26th and 27th Amendments. He said the PPP has failed the people of Sindh and called for sweeping political change. Afridi urged supporters to prepare for a street movement and announced plans for a large public gathering in Karachi, despite restrictions. Critics say the remarks highlight deepening political polarization ahead of the next elections. Internationally, tensions are peaking as the White House doubles down on its so-called America First expansion, following the capture of Venezuela's Nicolas Maduro, who has pleaded not guilty to drug trafficking charges in New York. President Trump said the United States is now effectively in charge of Venezuela's oil wealth. The administration has also warned Greenland it may intervene the hard way to secure the island for national security solidarity, a move strongly rejected by Greenlandic leaders. Adding to the unusual diplomatic calendar, France has delayed the upcoming G7 summit by one day to avoid clashing with a White House-hosted UFC event marking the president's 80th birthday. And finally, economic shockwaves are rippling across the United States after President Trump called for a 10% cap on all credit card interest rates starting January 20th. The White House describes the one-year measure as an affordability push to protect consumers, while critics warn it could restrict access to credit. At the same time, a heated debate is unfolding in Silicon Valley over California's proposed billionaire tax. While some executives say they will stay, reports suggest others are considering relocating to states like Texas and Florida, raising concerns over a potential exodus of wealth and talent. That's all for now. You're watching Pakistan Today News. I'm Chris Taylor.